mic muted because I'm really smart. Let's do this again, folks. We've got Thunder Robot Gaming, Insane Buster. We've got Night Stalker. How you doing, PQ? What do you think about this draft?
Good. I think the Night Stalker AA are completely reactionary picks to how Thunder Robot played the first game. One, they don't want to be put in the same position they were last time, where they kind of were on the back foot the entire way. And AA also gives some really good team fight / D-push options. So it's already looking at a much better draft.
Yeah.
IB.
And I agree, it's already looking like they've got some very aggressive plans going on. I like an Ancient Apparition. I'm a little bit concerned here. If this is a Night Stalker support, I think that he's rather weak. The Ancient Apparition as a laning support, yes, he can harass well with that Chilling Touch. It's hard to get Cold Feet to proc, and if someone comes at you, you don't have many defenses. So
You can generally supplement that though with a strong laning hero. If they want to put Quap in the safe lane, they have that option. I was going to say Ember's an option because he's generally pretty strong safe laner. You can set up for Cold Feet, Sven, etc. There's options.
Yeah.
I actually think Night Stalker and AA together, they offer a lot as a support duo. Admittedly, it means AA is generally the 5th position hero, but I still think he offers a lot.
Yep. So we're gonna have Darkseer picked up.
Fourth pick.
Huh?
As a 4th pick.
Oh, is that...
That's surprising, right? It was banned first last game.
Banned first last game, we've been seeing him really prized, but I guess they decided on both sides that there were better heroes. He's certainly got some nice synergy here with Ancient Apparition and the Sonic Wave coming out of Queen of Pain, but I am not so sure. I mean, Earthshaker can help deal with the Darkseer initiating on your team as long as he isn't caught as well.
Yeah. Ember as well as Bane are fairly good at dealing with him as well, as long as they can put pressure on him and kill him. If he's able to just passively Iron Shell the wave, maybe leech a few levels, he'll be having a fairly good time this game. And it gives them a mech buyer, which is really important, because last game, Razor's not really a mech buyer. Sure, in the past, around like TI4, I think it was, he used to be able to do it. But recently you've seen teams move away from it because they realize it just puts such a timer on the hero. Similar to Viper. Better if they can scale as opposed to going for this all-in mech and try to win the game around 2025.
Yeah, 100%. So we're gonna be seeing Clockwork Slock banned out. I have to say, I love this Slock ban out, even though I think Thunder Robot is picking up some decent lockdown with heroes like the Bane and the Ember Spirit. It can be really frustrating if he gets that Dark Pact off, purges off spells that you're trying to use to stun him up, and he's just a slippery fellow. Just don't want to play against him, and I like that.
Black would actually be a really good hero this game. As you said, it's really annoying for the Bane and Shaker. You can solo kill them both. He has good synergy with AA, Darkseer, even Night Stalker. Because A, you reduce the vision that they get, and then you also know where the wards are, so it gives you an insane vision game.
Yeah. Now, we are also gonna be seeing a lot of time spent here. You mentioned you need a strong laning hero to go up with the AA. Could you maybe go something crazy like the Sven to take advantage of the Darkseer pulling them all into a small AoE? Or are you just asking for trouble?
I think Sven's slightly awkward. A, because you aren't 100% sure what Thunder Robot have as their offlaner. Could be the Shaker, it could be another hero. So you have to be slightly more flexible. But I think the Sven's just too wombo combo-y. Right now they have a lot of... I think Red King's a similar thing, it gives them the laning presence, but it's not as wombo combo-y, which is good, because they don't want to do the same thing they did last game, where it was all in one basket. This game they have a lot of options.
I agree, and I also like the Wraith King here, because if you're forced to use the Fiend's Grip or the Echo Slam on a Wraith King who's just going to respawn, often not ideal. There are definitely scenarios where if you can kill off... Generally against a Wraith King, it feels like you want to kill off his entire team and then you kill the Wraith King twice. Or, you know, obviously pick him off alone. But a Nyx Assassin, and that's one way to deal with the Wraith King. If he has no mana, he doesn't reincarnate.
Okay, that's actually such a good pick. It's
Look at all these int heroes.
Darkseer, It solo kills AA when he's farming on his own. Not the best hero against Wraith King because you have to draw the fights out and you have to have the levels on the hero.
But you can
So
burn a good amount of mana, I feel, in...
Yeah, but it's not if you find him on his own, it's generally like use one mana burn and realize, okay, it's not enough. I have to wait
Oh,
for the
yeah.
second or the third. So it's not the best hero against him, but it's still good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's so good against the rest of the lineup. It's just going to be a case of him getting levels. They have the ability to do.
10 seconds remaining.
Now, we're gonna be loading in as everybody picks up their heroes. Welcome, folks, to Star Ladder China Season 13. We've got
Prepare
action
for
all
battle.
over this game as heroes walk out of the base. Actually, okay, we have a little bit of effigy action. We didn't have any effigies in an earlier game, and I was like really saddened. We've got Queen of Pain being played up on Insane Busters by Chinese characters. We've got Savior on that Doxia. Ancient Apparition is going to be played by LT. Call on that Night Stalker, and our wonderful stand-in on the Wraith King.
TRG, we have Nier on the support Nyx Assassin this time. The other Chinese character guy on the offlane Earthshaker, Apus on the the Bane, KYXY on the Ember Spirit, and MMC on the Shadow Fiend to hopefully have a repeat performance.
Yeah. Doom, unfortunately, never gonna... Actually, he makes it through occasionally. Thankfully not in these
30
games.
seconds to battle.
I feel like that's a completely meta game thing though for the majors. Like teams realize how to deal with him, etc. Like when you spend a month or 2 months preparing to play at an event, preparing to play against all the quote-unquote meta heroes, found ways to deal with them.
This is a very strange rotation, I feel like, out of IB. They're going to get the top rune here, but I understand they were searching for an engagement. Their level 1 presence is fantastic. Not finding it, and now finally going to their lanes, which is actually going to be an aggro dual lane. Maybe a try if the Night Stalker decides to pop in.
He's probably just blocking mid for the clock and will go top. I think the sole reason they're doing this, Darkseid destroys whichever hero is against one-on-one. Nyx
Yes.
is slightly more doable. The Earthshaker, he can't do anything against Darkseid.
We also had the fake out of all time. I believe that they saw some of Insane Busters heroes come up, and before the camp actually spawned, they checked if it was there. Look at how many sentries they've placed. That's a camp blocking sentry. This ward, I think, is just, of course, outside of range of it, but this is not great for them.
What, the one in the trees?
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't block. Okay, I thought that was
No, that one does not block.
my mistake. I thought that was a camp blocking sentry. Either way, a bit curious to expend them so early on, but since it doesn't block, not nearly as costly as I thought. And as you were talking about, already Earthshaker not having a blast against the Doxia.
And on top of that, I think they actually have a lot of kill potential in this lane. Nyx is a really greedy support. He needs his levels. Bane's really good at fighting tri-lanes, but Ember not so much. So Insane Busters can definitely put some work here. I'm actually gonna reblock the camp and deward some of the sentries.
Yeah, so I also find it kind of funny because, as you mentioned, anybody... If you throw a Wraithfire Blast and then a Cold Feet, you get the Cold Feet to proc. A finally takes that Chilling Touch, and this does mean they have to wait till level 2, but I don't think they would have had the damage output necessarily level 1 either way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We've got also... They're really strange tri-lanes, right? There are 2 melee tri-lanes. It's not the best to have it with an AA.
Yeah, at the moment, it's just farm trading, but as soon as you say level 2 mark, it's really going to pick up. TRG have level 2 first, so if they want to initiate, now's the time to do it, before any more of the creeps die, but the lane's in an unfavorable position, so they're just going to play passively.
Yeah,
Maybe go for some rune.
Actually pushing it out a little bit, trying to make sure they have creep advantage for whatever strange gank they're attempting. Additionally, both Doxia and the Earthshaker had picked up bottles, and Doxia beat the Earthshaker to the bottom rune, so his lane is just awful. Now we've got a Queen of Pain versus a Shadow Fiend. This matchup traditionally one that the Queen of Pain wins until level 5. Maybe if she's very good, she'll get a pick-off on the... is another raise coming? No, not another raise is coming. No mana on the Shadow Fiend.
But in
Queen
top?
Oh. We see the first blood coming out, I'm guessing. Yep, Chilling Touch, Cold Feet, and the Wraithfire Blast all expended. And while I was watching Queen of Pain take a lot of damage in mid, that happens.
The only way they can stop that is if the Bane uses the sleep to dodge the stun from Wraith King, which is really easy. You just have to expect it to be coming. If you're ready, it's not that hard. If he's out of position though, it's really easy for them to
Ooh.
capitalize.
Quap, as we were just talking about, she's going for the aggressive blink, and you have to be a little bit careful here, but knowing that there is no mana on the SF, but she can't seal the deal, and just means she takes quite a bit of tower damage. Has only one more bottle charge left. It's not the best.
Could have actually gone for a kill there, but opting to play it safe and make sure she keeps the advantage, spending a bit off. She's CSing really well right now. Having the 7 denies helps a lot. She's got a decent level advantage, so if she can just rolling until she hits level 6, it's a free kill on the Shadow Fiend, barring any rotations.
If she hits this level 6 first, as we talked about, she can definitely get a kill there. After that, though, actually, nobody is stacking for this Shadow Fiend, so his catch-up mechanics are going to be definitely nerfed, and we've even got an Earthshaker. Oh goodness, he just has to land a fissure. Here it comes. There's going to be a raise, a second raise, and that is Queen of Pain dead. Very nice early rotation from Earthshaker. Having no luck in his lane, he's going to go make business happen elsewhere.
You mentioned there's no stacks, and that's purely because of this aggressive lane, which is working fairly well. The Ember managed to die, but he's moved bottom now, so he'll be able to drag the creep wave back from the tower and get his CS here, which I think is a good rotation.
Oh, and they go in again as they're using the Brain Sap. This Cold Feet is gonna proc, but do they have the damage output? Oh goodness, AA. It pops the wand, and AA doesn't get off another auto attack since he is Nightmared. I think...
Look at this Night Stalker just casually going in under the tower.
Yeah, Night Stalker dives the tower. We're gonna have another Wraith Fire Blast. This should be a dead Nyx Assassin, and it is... not what I was expecting. Didn't realize the Night Stalker was chillaxing around back there. And now Doxia doing a world of hurt to the Ember Spirit. Not quite sure why they sent him down bottom. Not a lane he can win either. Well, he gets the Searing Chains off though, and then with a stun, taking so much damage from the creeps. Can he get the return kill? Oh my goodness, he manages to get the kill first. While he may fall, Doxia, I think, very happy with this exchange. In the meantime, in middle, we got Night Stalker being that guy. It is nighttime. Fissure coming out. Can he get the raise off onto both? Instead, he goes down. Queen of Pain actually blinking away, not wanting to take that enchant totem, but they could potentially go for more. Of course, her blink being on cooldown really negates her chances of that. An Insane Buster, they are kicking out of the gate, unlike Lost Game where it felt like they'd already were having trouble. They're doing pretty well this one.
Yeah, last game it looked like a complete outclass, like it was a tier 2 team against like a tier 3 team. This game, they set themselves out well in the draft, the lanes are all going well, so it's looking really promising for them.
Yeah.
The Ember just doesn't have anywhere to go. I feel like he didn't know the DD was on the Darkseer bottom. It's not the easiest hero to see a DD on. I suppose that's his only excuse, because he should not have died there. They had the kill.
Yeah, no, I think there's no, like, it's unfortunate that he died there, but oh goodness, there's gonna be an illusion rune for the Ember Spirit. Doxia wants to just walk this one off. Nyx Assassin misses the Earth Spike, and that will be that. That is a spell, sorry, the Impale is rough to hit.
I feel like he should have just gone for it though, as opposed to trying to wait it out. But it's one of those where anything like that can always happen.
Yeah, and as you said, if they had gone for it, they might not have had the damage output during that time to kill off the Doxia. So, it's always rough to know exactly unless you're in a, you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hit for exactly this much, and I know how many auto attacks I'll get off in this time frame, which some of these Dota players may actually know, at this level.
Oh yeah, definitely. But something else they might not expect is vacuum at level 6 as opposed to wall. So maybe he thought he could wait out the chains a lot longer than he actually could because the vacuum interrupted him. Which you don't always get at level 6, it's 50-50.
Yeah, and as you said, wall becoming more and more popular. There was patch, some changes to Doxia, just also some changes into how Doxia is played, really meaning that it's pretty dang nice to have an early wall, but we have got some jungle action. There was another vacuum, Doxia also putting the Ion Shell on him, and I don't know if they want to fight into this one, but oh goodness, the Thunder Robot, not going for the Courier, going for the Ember Spirit, who's still not level 6, the Ice Feet, Cold Feet will proc, and he's down again. Queen of Pain even coming in, she has the Sonic Wave up, but I don't think she's gonna find anyone, and with that, still a worthwhile kill, but now they've got 4 heroes awkwardly, or 5 were awkwardly bottom. I guess you push.
Yeah, if they can't get this tower, it's not worth it for the bot to have rotated, because they had the kill anyway. At least the Darkseers moved away from the lane, so they're not giving up a lot of XP and farm elsewhere on the map.
Yeah.
Radiant's
And
top tower
if somebody
is under
comes in,
attack.
actually, Wraith King does have that level 1 ultimate. Never one you want to have to use because the cooldown on that thing, it is 260 seconds. You may have gotten your level 11 by then. Darkseer, he is going to probably just be fine surging away from this little engagement
Dire's
happening in the
middle
top
tower is
rune
under
area.
attack.
And
I
Queen of
want
Pain
to
has an
point.
invis. You were saying.
Okay, never mind. They're going on KYXY bottom. He might be fine with the backup coming in.
Oh goodness, what's happening here? We've got a lot of damage happening to the Wraith King, and now it looks like Cole is instead going to be the one to
Radiant's
fall.
middle tower is
Queen
under
of Pain,
attack.
I don't think she's popped the invis yet. She's looking for someone. I think if he does creeps here, she can just scream Sonic Wave him. Especially with the Ion Shell. I don't know if he's noticed it burning him. Because I'm stalking up on this kill, we're missing action in the bot lane. We're gonna see maybe a kill on that guy, but oh, Sonic Wave comes out. Auto attacks will get the kill on the Shadow Fiend. Now they're diving onto the Wraith King. Where is their backup? Ember Spirit finally has that level 6, but he's stunned again and silenced. The Wraith King does end up going down. That is to 260 seconds where he cannot have a second life. And they might turn around here, but they don't want to. They really, really just want to walk it all away. And this Ember Spirit, he's not going to remnant to a good spot. The Quap comes in with a scream and just picks him off. He wasn't... yeah. It's really rough. You're a very squishy hero here, and Ember Spirit, I think, wanting to wait for as long as he could before he remnanted, kind of just awkwardly to the side, didn't work out.
I like the fact they're trying to put some aggression on TRG, but it's just not working out with the IB constantly rotating as many heroes as they feel is needed. The Doctor is really happy to just come and fight early, which is not something you often see. The Quap's constantly TPing and she still has her ulti as a threat. So TRG needs to be playing a lot more careful at this point.
Yeah. She's doing really well as this Quap. She is at about 400 GPM, 10 minutes in. That's pretty fantastic for a Queen of Pain. Working on that Orchid. I like that pickup here, of course, because there's an Ember Spirit. And as I say, she's doing well. Fiend's Grip and 2 Razors will bring an end to her streak.
You have to curse. Bloody commentators curse killing the Quap.
Yeah, I did in fact do that. It was very unfortunate. So, Shadow Fiend gonna get some nice catching up with that. Killing the top net worth leader always helps your farm a little bit. Holy Hannah, that was a almost 1200 gold swing right there.
It still surprises me how big a swings there can be just from one kill between 2 heroes.
Yeah, it's somewhat ridiculous now. I wanted to quickly check around, see if anybody's making something really interesting on either team. Nyx Assassin, maybe it's gonna be Arcanes. Yeah, it's just the Arcanes. Blink Dagger, not uncommon on him, but I imagine having the Arcanes first just because your spells... I mean, you're an Agi hero, as strange as that sounds. Nyx Assassin, I mean, not one of those heroes I think of as an Agi hero. You don't exactly have the greatest mana gain over time. So having the Arcanes helps.
Also a bit optimistic to look for your Blink Dagger when you're not even 6 yet, so... As you
No,
say, you need
yeah, I know, I
mana
thought he
pool.
was maybe saving up for it, you know? Just one of those, like, I'm only 1,000 gold away from it. I can potentially go for this.
Considering the situation his team's in though, it's not a badly timed level 6. I was really scared the Nyx was just going to be irrelevant this game because of the tri-lane.
Yeah, and speaking of irrelevant, AA has also gotten a pretty dang well-timed level 6. Missing the Impale there. I don't know if they can quite catch out this AA. We've got a lot of help coming out, and AA Blast is also thrown top. I think he just wanted the debuff on them to scare them. I'm not sure.
He threw it when the Ember was pushing the lane, so probably looking to set up a kill.
And
But
now,
the Nyx saw it get thrown, he also saw the ward get dropped.
yeah.
Hopefully they deal with that.
And we've got another little push coming out here. I didn't expect it, looking at their lineup, but Insane Buster's doing a really good job of pushing everything that they can, so...
Dire's middle tower
All the
is under
lanes in just
attack.
forces TRG to respond, which they're doing a really good job of now. And if the lanes are pushed in, and they see like 1 hero top, 1 hero bottom, 3 heroes mid, the Quap's open to go and kill either of those solo heroes. Or maybe pick up a support that's transitioning between the lanes. So it opens up a lot of options for AB if they can constantly push the lanes enough as going.
Oh, we're gonna be having a nice little dive. Blast is coming in too, and this one's gonna be pretty big. It hits both. Sonic Wave to follow it up, and a little bit of a screen just auto attacks will do it. Echo Slam actually spent it on the Queen of Pain, but this is a dead Earthshaker, and now they do pick off the Darkseer on the back lines. They're probably okay with this exchange. A bit unfortunate that the Darkseer did fall there. He had been getting very close to his mechanism.
Yeah, If they can manage to killing the Shadow Fiend, then I feel like they can continue doing what they're doing right now,
Dire's top
which is
tower is under attack.
how they get ahead.
And the Wraith King finished his omelet, probably a Blink Dagger next. He might also opt for a BKB right up. Oh, and goodness, this Queen of Pain, she is way too far up. A Blast coming out, it's going to hit on no one, and she has no time to blink away. A may have also sacrificed his life, but without the lockdown still coming out of Bane, looks like nothing too much there is going to happen. So, and that was
He got
another
really
huge
greedy
kill.
trying for the ulti instead of just taking the sleep off.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Yeah,
under attack.
I agree. A bit of greed, not the right decision, unfortunately, as it turns out. But of course, hindsight is 20/20. Perhaps thinking that if he hit that, they could make something else happen and get themselves another fantastic kill. Because I mean,
It is really hard in the moment, and as you say, we have hindsight advantage, so it's awkward.
Yeah.
But it's something that the really experienced players, they can do that in the split second. They realize, okay, I saved my co-op here, and then maybe I can throw the ulti after the sleep goes away, or the ult's not going to do anything, etc.
yeah. And the lineup of Thunder Robot Gaming is smoked right on top of a ward, but that's not going to stop them from doing a lot of damage to the Queen of Pain, and she goes down. I'm really surprised. They, like, while the Nyx was invisible, they smoked right on top of this ward. So maybe Queen of Pain just thought they moved into fog or something.
Maybe getting a bit greedy, trying to take the creep wave and blink out.
And I don't think she can afford this kind of greed.
I agree, like, she was so far ahead, and she had, like, her first Oblivion stuff, admittedly sans the shreds at, like, 10 minutes, and now she's completely fallen off, and the Shadow Fiend's overtaken.
And they are up against a lineup involving an Ember Spirit. You don't want to go super late game against this guy. The Shadow Fiend goes down to the wall combo. They're also chasing down a Nyx Assassin. Does not have any more points than Spiked Carapace, so I think Nyx Assassin just going to fall. And yeah, Wraithfire Blast sealing the deal. At the same time, though, Ancient Apparition going down in the mid lane, and this game is rather action-packed.
Being able to abuse nighttime, they both came in from, well, Bane came, like, from behind, the Shaker was sat on the high ground, long-range Fisher into Brain Sap, and the A is just too squishy.
Yeah.
Something they really can't afford to keep doing. They're letting TRG back into this game. And admittedly, it's going to take another 20 minutes for the Ember to be a problem. But it's going to get there now, because they've given away their advantage unless this Wraith King can really start amping up the pace with maybe a blink.
I do believe he's going for Blink next. You can see he's got a lot of extra gold lying around. I do like that pickup a lot. Now this Ember Spirit, you said 20 minutes. It looks like finally, we haven't seen an Ember Spirit with bots all night, and it looks like finally CDEC.Y is going to be the one to bring that to us, and so he is really wanting this bottom tower, wants to secure that extra farm for his team.
Anything they can get is good right now.
Yeah, and a really smart D-ward. Oh, we have TP rotations coming in. Wraith King, he's in a little bit of a pickle, but where is his support? There's going to be a Dox here. They have a vacuum, no wall coming out, and they might be able to get the kill on one. He's silenced up, taking a lot of earned damage. In the meantime, somewhere else, Queen of Pain goes down mid again to support of all things. Wraithfire Blast should get them that one last kill, and it's a mid for a mid, but again, as we pointed out, it does feel like Queen of Pain repeatedly dying, just letting the lineup of Thunder Robot Gaming back into this.
The only problem is, with the Shadow Fiend dying, he needs to get souls again before he can, like, feel like he's ready to fight. So when he respawns, the Cop also is up a few seconds before, so they can maybe look to find him again when he's looking to recover those souls. If he keeps dying, then it's a snowball effect the other way, right?
Yeah.
If the Cop dies, she can instantly be impactful on the map again. Admittedly, she doesn't have a level 2 ulti, so she might want to wait for that before she uses it again.
Now, we have a smoke on the Ancient Apparition and another in stock for the Radiant, but the Dire have no more smokes in stock, although I just saw one get bought out. And oh, it's actually already in use. They're just going to find nothing. It looks like a really good idea here, I think, to stalk your opponent's jungle. Unfortunately, not lucking out with finding anyone, although this could put them in a great position for this upcoming team fight. They don't have the Ember Spirit though, and Quap actually going to be the one to initiate. They pop the Shadow Fiend before anything can be done by these supports, and they just have to walk away empty-handed from this rotation.
I feel like that's either just a bad read or some really big miscommunication. Because the Shadow Fiend, he's not tanky enough
Dire's
to
middle tower is
be
under attack.
their sole hero
Radiant's
right now.
top tower
The
is under
A,
attack.
if he went for a mech or something, the A counters it out, so he doesn't really have a good item choice right now. But if his support's not behind him and they're kind of smoking around like they did, which was
Radiant's
it was
top
a good
tower
idea.
is under
It
attack.
just wasn't executed very
Dire's
well.
middle tower
Yeah,
is
and
So he
this-
needs to be a bit more careful.
Radiant's top
As you
tower
pointed
is
out, this
falling.
is Yasha first. Oh goodness, can they stop this? No, they can't kill off the Ember Spirit. Not getting those lucky Mortal Strike crits for the Wraith King, although he does now have up the Blink Dagger, the Omelette, and I'm
Sure,
not...
if he had shreds, he would have got the kill.
That is potentially very true. Now, do you think he'll eventually switch up these boots? I don't feel like they go into anything that he needs, that soul booster. And I do think that he might go a Basher or an Abyssal or something next, because it can be really great lockdown
Radiant's
on an
middle
Ember
tower
Spirit.
is under attack.
Personally, I understand why you did it, fearing the Nyx to be a big problem, but I think it's kind of overkill. A stick
Radiant's
generally does
structures
the
are
job.
fortified.
But I suppose you keep these until you look to upgrade to bots. Otherwise, it's
Oh,
Big
Fiend's Grip
amount
in
of
the
money.
bottom lane. We've got TPs coming in too, but Savior may be dead before then. Huge Sonic Wave comes out. Echo Slam does, in fact, net them the kill, but they might both just die here. Nightmare, no, it wasn't a Nightmare, and I think they have the auto attack damage. No, oh, very close there for the Bane. I thought he might have been out. I also think, the Wraith King, I agree with you that he's, like, worried about the Nyx. Funny thing, Nyx of course works on int, and since Arcane Boots don't give you extra int, it doesn't hurt you more. So maybe also he was trying to think of some fancy thing that way. I'm not so sure.
yeah, the mana pool is definitely good, and his int isn't the problem right now. So I can completely see the logic behind it. I just think it's a bit over adjusting.
Yeah.
Shreds and stick would do the job
Now,
as long as you save your stick, which it's harder. It's easier said than done. Sorry. Not that
No.
easy to execute at the time when there's like plenty of stuns coming out. Maybe your Fiend's Grip the entire time, so you want to make sure you've got that mana pool.
Yep.
It's understandable.
I think you also have to worry about your omelet toggling, and as you said, executing the stick charges at the right, like, it's not the easiest of Wraith King games, potentially. But Darkseer has finished off his Guardian Greaves 20 minutes in, and it looks like, this looks to me like a smoke. It looked to me, never mind, it apparently was just a group up. Oh, I think it
They're
was the...
flying it out now.
No, yeah, I think it was the famous, I've done this one. Who hasn't done this one? It's the Let's Smoke. Oh,
crap,
everybody
none of us have it.
agreed, nobody has one. Yes, so...
I used to do that so often with my team. It took us like 2 minutes to smoke as 5 heroes. It was really bad. And then by the time you smoke, the other team's like, alright, they've been off the map for such a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
What are they doing? And they
It's
just
smoke.
walk into 5 heroes uphill and you're like, oh,
Been there, done that.
typical pub plays.
Now we're at a little lead for Insane Busters, 3,000 gold, 1.5k experience. We talked about this potential smoke gank, hasn't quite come out yet. They might want to show themselves on the map, as you mentioned, otherwise it might be falling prey to this. We don't show
Well, as
ourselves.
long as they don't smoke, when they've been off the map for this long, it's not too bad. But now they're possibly going to completely airball this because it's been so long.
Well,
They
it's
have
not
no
even...
idea where TRG is.
Yeah, this isn't even their fault. We've got the classic case of this action where TRG is in their opponent's jungle hoping maybe to find a pick, and now IB is in their opponent's jungle maybe hoping to find a pick. So it's rough, to say the least.
I think that's a really Chinese thing as well, where you try and read the game, and both teams are like, alright, at the exact same time, we smoke into the opposing team's woods. They both just read the game the same way, that they feel like now they can fight and they want to get a favorable pick off, so they use smoke, go into the woods. It seems like it happens so often where they both do the exact same thing.
Oh, speaking of in the woods, we have got Nighttime, Nightstalker. He has managed to silence up the Bane before Bane can get off the Fiend's Grip. And I think Bane just needs to wander away. She does have Glimmer Cape coming off of cooldown. Just going to use it to try and TP out, and there will be no vacuum stopping it. I spoke too soon. This Bane, if they can get some vision, there's going to be a Wraithfire Blast with their name on it. And oh goodness, Bane is so fast. Bane is actually a race car. Tranquil's doing mad work. Finally falls. Has Bane always been that fast?
Yes. He's 315 as a base, and then Tranquil's on top of that.
Well, they told you could be anything you wanted, and Bane became a race car. So, Nyx Assassin got that Blink Dagger up. Ember Spirit, of course, working towards Battle Fury, a little under halfway there. Shadow Fiend finally working on that Sange. I also wanted to mention he went Yasha first and was incredibly not tanky. It's very common these days that we see the Sange picked up. Sometimes even the Sange picked up and then other items before you finish the Yasha, but that's not very common. But it's just like really astounded me that he picked up the Yasha first. Just not as popular, it feels like, when people are worried about taking damage.
It's a good fighting item, and it, as you say, I just feel it's better these days because the longer you can stay alive, the more damage you can output, as opposed to trying to be more on the glass cannon side. But he picked up the Asher, and now he's going back for a BKB, which I think is a much better choice. Finishing the SNY, realizing he needs to be able to fight now. He can make space for his Ember, because right now the Ember can't be in fights unless there's a frontline hero that everyone else is focusing on. Jonathan can't be that hero right now until he gets a BKB. He's 50 gold away from.
Now, we had a Fissure forwards, the Blink Dagger on cooldown, but Wraith King, there he goes in. Wraithfire Blast, there is a Silence as well. I'm not sure how Earthshaker finds his way out of this one. Ember luckily not there, or he wouldn't be finding his way out of this one either. And that is a quick, clean kill. They should be able to trade it for at least some damage on this top tier 2. Not sure if the entire push would be successful.
I think it will, because TRG, unless they opt to defend the towers, they could very easily take this. TRG won't defend. It looks like they're opting for both because they realize that they can. There's no contest, so they can take it with the 3 heroes here. They set up with the Darkseid to try and start pushing out the other lanes. Fortunately, can't do both at once.
Yeah.
They even get picked off by the Nyx.
They've got some defense going down, and yeah, as you said, here comes the Nyx Assassin, using that spiked carapace in a really creative way. Sonic Wave, though, kills him off, and Savior's gonna die. Unfortunately, SF now thinking about going in onto the Queen of Pain. A huge AA blast coming out. It's gonna catch one with the immediate Glimmer Cape. You can probably just TP out with that thing. If you had a TP, Bane does not. So now Bane probably just gonna hide in the trees until Queen of Pain backs off and farms somewhere else.
Yeah, hiding in the trees is your friend, especially when you have a Glimmer Cape. And they've got the ward there as well for a short amount of time, so you can see when it's safe to come out and when it's not. But overall,
oh goodness, how does Queen of Pain know this? I'm not quite sure how Queen of Pain saw that. I don't see anybody around who is supplying her with nighttime vision. There's going to be an AA blast, a silence coming out as well, and that is goodbye, Bane.
That's just game sense. There's no other explanation.
Yeah.
They didn't have any wards, seeing that he wasn't showing up elsewhere. They probably scouted the fact he had no TP, etc. So.
And they actually checked up on that ledge for wards, of course. They already put the gem on Night Stalker, even though he hasn't finished his Ags. He's very close, but not too common that we see the pre-Aghanims gem on a Night Stalker.
Well, when he's so close, he's probably just asking for it, and it just so happens he finishes the Ags up like a minute later than he gets the gem.
Yeah, and Nyx Assassin.
Moving around a bit more.
Nyx Assassin, unfortunately, or fortunately for him, because maybe if he walked into that guy, he would have died, so never mind.
Pop's a bit far out right now, though, and the Nyx might be able to scout him if he walks a tiny bit closer.
Oh, and yep, there it goes. There's the stun. There's some more follow-up Searing Chains as well. Queen of Pain has to use her BKB, and nobody's going to get hit by the AA blast. She will have a Sonic Wave, but not for 24 seconds. And they've already popped the dust as well. That's not a team fight they can take, especially with the BKB down. Oh, and as I say, they can't take this fight. We got Wraith King saying, why, yes, I can. He has got a casual Hyperstone just chilling in his inventory. And this team fight, is it going to continue? Is it going to stop? There's a silence coming out onto the Nyx Assassin. We've also got the big jump forwards, Wraithfire Blast. He, of course, does have an ultimate. Requiem of Souls going to be coming out as well. And Wraith King could just be falling here, but they're still backing out. He still hasn't burned that Reincarnate. Oh, my goodness, I've never seen that do that. And that was an amazing Wraithfire Blast. And they get the kill onto... Oh, will they? No, they won't get a second one. But another Wraithfire Blast coming out. He's still not dead. He toggles as well. He'll finally go down here, but that was just life number 1, and 2 more auto attacks should do in the Bane, and now they're looking for more. They're going to try to TP him out, but Wraithfire Blast again. That is 3 dead. This is at least the tier 2, maybe more depending on what they can make on that. Have you seen the Wraithfire Blast do that? For the little loop to do. Yeah, I understand why it happened, but I just haven't had the joy and glory of seeing it myself.
I think I've seen it happen with Sven stuns and alt stuns, but never Wraith Kings.
Dire's bottom
Wraith
tower
King's
is
definitely made some beautiful patterns on the map just then, and I feel like level 2 ult, burning it there, totally fine. Yes, he can't play maybe as ballsy for another 2.5 minutes, or only now 2 minutes, but you're very happy with everything you just got out of that engagement.
I'm actually surprised they were able to get anything at all, because when TRG forced the BKB and backed off and they didn't get any kills, give away any kills, it was looking really good for them, and then there was just this hesitation. Maybe there's a lack of a clear captain in their team, because they should have just run, or they should have engaged, but it was kind of a 50-50. Players were maybe looking to take advantage of something, and then their team was like, no, back off, etc. So they could have gotten out there really cleanly.
Yeah. Now,
And it cost them heavily.
Wraith King has revealed he's going for the AC. It was either that or a Moonshot, and actually Moonshot, something we're seeing a lot of people pick up kind of naked, getting very popular on Tiny. It used to be before the introduction of the item that you always had to go AC just because you needed a Hyperstone on you, but now we're definitely seeing some Tinies kind of pick up a Moonshot, then maybe an AC for more, you know, obviously there's the minus armor aura, but just stacking that attack speed. Do you feel like
your supports get the AC now? That's pretty much what Tiny does, I think.
yeah,
It opens up another slot for you.
and I'm wondering with this hero, maybe Wraith King could have been greedy in that same way as well.
I think the AC works really well because the Night Stalker's not going to come close to it for a very long time. He'll probably opt for the Vlads instead, which is a much more affordable item. And on top of that, it synergizes well with your Quap. We went for the BKB Orchid. Her right click's not insignificant, so any way you can amp that up and just tank people up in general against the Shadow Fiend aura is really good.
Yep, and Queen of Pain has her Aghanims almost done, so she is actually going to be killing a man with it. Oh no, she didn't have enough mana. I lied. And now she might kill this individual with it, but she can't see him. So I just feel like IB, they have everything they need to seal the deal on this one, you know? Maybe wait for the Aghanims before they siege high ground, I say, as they get a DD.
Yeah, it's pretty close. High ground's a tiny bit optimistic when all of TRG are alive, though.
And speaking
they're
of highly
looking like
optimistic, Queen of Pain, she may have found one alone, but she is going to be heavily punished. Echo Slam as well, that is the first life, and in comes Wraith King and the rest of her team. There's going to be a big silence coming out, and they can see you. Scream gets the one kill. Can they get another? She still has Sonic Wave, by the way. Probably wants to wait for her 8 Aghanims so that she doesn't have to burn a long cooldown, and what I thought was going to be a bad team fight for IB with the Queen of Pain getting picked off so early, completely salvaged.
The Aegis just makes things like that happen. She was extremely confident to be able to walk in. I'm not sure on the Ags pickup, though. I feel like it's not the best here.
I think it's okay for sieging high ground, right? Because you can throw it out pretty liberally.
Yeah, it's also like you can push out waves easier with it, etc. But I feel like, don't get me wrong, I'm a huge advocate for it. I think Ags is nearly core on the hero. But I feel like this is one of the games where if you went like a Deso, a Scaddy, you're just going to be more useful, it feels like. Tanking, this is probably her way of tanking up. If she didn't want to go for Scaddy,
goodness.
she wanted something.
She goes in, whiffs the Sonic Wave, but the A blast does hit, and she'll have another one in 34 seconds, and maybe she can get something done there. Fissure doing a good amount of work, but yeah, that was a questionable. I think she was hoping to catch out the Bane, but of course has a full staff, so was able to get himself away.
I suppose if they try and do things like that, where the Quap screws ultis, Wraith King either hits the tower and then they have an A blast coming in, it gives them a way to force them away from the towers so they can siege, as opposed to just trying to walk up to the tower, hit it a few times, get an exchange of nukes, and maybe come back half HP, rinse.
Yep. And while they can certainly afford to wait for another Roshan, I think on the lineup of IB, they might siege even earlier. AA is very close to his Aghanim Scepter, 250 gold away, and if the smoke doesn't latch, he will have it soon. But instead, they're finding the Queen of Pain. That's a huge kill. She might... Oh no, turnaround. She's picked off in that Fiend's grip, and doesn't look like they actually want to fight on the rest of IB. They're kind of posturing and not committing.
I feel like he definitely saw them and chose not to BKB. Sure, Fiendscript goes through it, but there's not that much physical damage. As you say, it's a really big pick-off, because now it lets TRG feel comfortable on the map. They can push lanes out, and they can do things they otherwise wouldn't have been able to for the next 60 seconds.
They got like 2400 gold from killing a Queen of Pain. I mean, I know they're 12,000 gold behind, but like that's a little obscene.
Well, it was 4 heroes there, right? So there's a lot of area gold.
Of splash.
Splash gold.
I don't know as you said, it's area gold. I don't know the technical term, but I always kind of think of it as, you know, somehow more gold comes out of the hero when there are more people around. That makes sense.
Like, it's kind of this game's version of assist gold. As opposed to, you know, having to hit the hero, you just have to be in the vicinity. Yeah. I don't know, you could call it spill gold, area gold, assist gold.
I know, it's like weird, it's like, what's the right word for it? It's like as if the gold is actually puddles, and if you're not in the area, it just like seeps into the ground and is gone.
We don't want that. We want as much money as possible.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just a weird concept. But either way, not important. This is what happens when you cast Dota late at night. You start thinking about puddles of gold. Bane this time very sneaky here. If he can get a +1. Bots on cooldown though for Ember Spirit. I think an easy kill there if you can get a +1. Just using Fiend's Grip, you should have enough damage output, but no cigar. Now, Ember Spirit is about to have enough for Baby Crit, which I think should be his next item with their point in the game, but he has picked up an Ogre Club.
Understandable. Being able to not want to be scared of the orchids, etc.
Immediate BKB TP out of SF, and while, you know, it's frustrating he didn't die there, that was a 9-second BKB charge, but
definitely better than him dying, as you say. But now they should be cutting the wave, or like Bane should be hitting this wave and dragging it, so they can kill the wave at the tower with Shadow Fiend, and it doesn't let them hit the high ground. But with the second wave coming, it definitely enables them to fight without Shadow Fiend's BKB.
I think maybe they just guessed the wrong timing on exactly where the wave would be. And speaking of able to guess, a nice wall vacuum combo coming in on 2. They managed to immediately pick off the Nyx Assassin, and he has been some of their primary lockdown. But there is a Blink Dagger on this Earthshaker. He's got a lot of good spots to go in on, and with all these melee heroes, it's not the easiest way to siege. But we have another big jump in. Wraithfire Blast coming out, of course, because there's no more BKB on this guy, and a Scream should finish him off. 2 more auto attacks will do it as well. Ember Spirit might be able to come in. Echo Slam comes out, and a Fiend's Grip as well onto the Queen of Pain. 1 life has been expended on the Reincarnate, and Wraith King, he is back and ready to fight. Another really well-played vacuum, but no follow-up damage, and I think actually they need to leave the opponent's base. Occasionally, you're good to be around their tier 4s, but not this time. Savior most likely going to take a spill for his team. Is this the big team fight whiff they needed? And oh my goodness, he's just going to walk out. I'm a little bit surprised the Doxy was able to.
Quite lagging through all that fight. I still think that TRG just needed to not let the Shadow Fiend get caught there.
Yeah.
Call for the BKB. They might find a constellation kill here.
They 100% will, but will they get the turnaround as well? Wraith King, he's gone in ham like he always seems to. He should be able to get 1 more kill. Vacuum assisting him. 13 seconds on that Reincarnate if he can just stick around for that, but we got action on both sides. He gets a second kill. Can he stop this Ember Spirit from killing his ally? And he does. So not only 1 consolation kill, they net 2. They're very happy there. While yes, they didn't get that top tower or as much damage, I think, as they wanted on it, they still got good game objectives, and they're using the time before Roshan spawns wisely, which, by the way, we now know is a very much average spawn Roshan time.
Not below average, not above average, just right.
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
As long as TRG can hold the high ground, though, I think they'll be happy. It's not ideal for them having to play this turtle-based game. If they can let CDEC.Y come online and the Shadow Fiend just get big enough, they still have a really good chance in this game. It's just that with him having to go for the BKB and now he picks up Blink, he doesn't have the most damage output. So it's going to take another 10-15 minutes, depending how much happens, for him to like get his damage items.
And this game, it's still about 12,000 gold ahead for IB, 10,000 experience. It's no longer trending straight upwards though, so you can see IB, they need the Aegis or something to seal the deal.
Yeah, or just really big pickoffs without buyback. The nice thing about Wraith King is he has a free Aegis every 60 seconds. Eventually, he's probably going to have a refresher on top of that. So if they ever find a kill, he can just hit towers for free, and then he can blink out of his reincarnate and rinse reset. Maybe he forces a buyback or something. But with the Night Stalker giving a lot of map control, maybe that's something they can do before they look to get the Aegis. But it's coming up really soon, so by really soon I mean now.
Yeah, and that's going to be Roshan up. We've got another interesting phenomenon I like to call Night Stalker sitting at 3.5k gold. It's an interesting game here. Normally, I think the only thing I can think of that might be nice for them to pick up is a Lincoln Sphere. Lotus Orb, not maybe even that great here, just because of how Fiend's Grip and Nightmare work. But even the Lincolns, they're not so great, because, right, how many targeted spells are they actually blocking? I'm feeling...
That's even better, though, if there's not many targeted spells, because then it's like the Fiend's Grip only.
Well, it's everything out of the Bane, but they often just kill the Bane. So I'm not quite sure how fantastic. And they're gonna get a Radiant. Oh, Nyx Assassin has stolen the Aegis. He may pay for this with his life, but if their Ember Spirit can get something out of it, a nice Requiem of Souls. And now the Fiend's Grip onto the BKB target. Quap, she's not doing any damage in this team fight. She manages to blink away, but she's gonna get off a Sonic Wave before falling. The Aegis has been expended. This wall's still in a really nice place, but an Echo Slam on the backlines locking down those two supports. They're gonna maybe be able to turn it around. Wraith King Nightmare up. Can they catch out the Earthshaker? It looks like he will fall. They also managed to get a pick off on Bane. The Wraith King finally wakes up, and he's not gonna find a follow-up kill. Or despite all of this, not gonna find Nia either. Oh my goodness, how did he see over there? I guess he wasn't as hidden in the trees as I thought.
In the trees.
Yeah, so Wraith King getting that cleanup kill and a 3 for 1, technically even a 4 if you decide to count the Aegis, but of course not so, yeah, not exactly how that works, but we're going to be seeing, I think, a tower push. Bottom, of course, a tower that they haven't really done much damage to when compared to others, but they will force buybacks here or get the tower. If they can't get the tower here, though, are you at all worried for their lineup? You know, they might have to wait for the next Aegis.
I wouldn't say I'm worried, but TRG definitely made the next 10 to 15 minutes a lot easier by denying that Aegis and not losing either of their cores doing so. So they didn't fall any further behind, which is really good for them. The Knicks had to buy back, but already at the point where he's relevant. He hit level 11, he's got his Arcane's Blink, he's also got Bottle Stick on top of that. So anything more is luxury for him.
Yeah. Ember Spirit has finished off a BKB and a Blink Dagger. He now needs the Chrysalis. I think if they had the Chrysalis in a few of those engagements, they might have had the damage output. I'm not quite sure I'm seeing the love from this BKB when he could have gone maybe a Manta to purge off the silence. I know there's a lot of other stuff here that BKB blocks. There's a lot of damage coming out and stuns and of course the wall and so on, but I still feel like...
A better late game item though. Manta's better now because, as you say, it takes off one thing. But, like, for example now, Night Stalker was there sooner, they could layer the stuff, like walk it's completely instant. And he doesn't jump because he gets too cocky.
Yeah, not quite sure what happened there. I also expected him to jump, hence no yelling about that engagement.
Do as much damage as he could, I guess. Just maybe force him back to base. Or maybe he perfect world spiked like I did, and that's his excuse.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting. I had some insane lag in the first game of the night, haven't had any since, and actually getting tweeted about it, because people, apparently the viewers were expecting lag.
It got pawned off to me. I've been lagging the entire series.
Wow. I have not quite sure if maybe this server just happens to be really close by, since of course I am somewhat close to China. This is another interesting play I have to say coming out of IB. They're kind of pushing, I mean, I know it's just what's convenient, but they've now pushed all 3 lanes a little, you know?
Yeah, I feel like you can shove a wave close enough so it makes backdoor and then go to the lane you've already damaged. But it's something that like lesser experienced teams generally just go with their wave.
Yeah, and they do finally break the base, one can say, because they get a tier 3. Now they're working on the melee racks, but Queen of Pain, she's popped that BKB. She is ready to fight you. Scotty gonna be a bit of a pain in the Fiend's Grip, of course, goes through that. They have something to stop the Fiend's Grip. There is a wall. There is no vacuum coming out onto that SF, but she manages to blink away. Sonic Wave from downtown and the stun coming out from the Night Stalker. That is going to be more than enough. Now, Wraith King, he is on the deck, but Night Stalker going ham onto this Bane. He falls. Now, let's see what else they can do on the backlines. BKB, did he just get a first hit stun on the Ember Spirit? This is going to be his second life if he goes down here. He needs to heal up, but he's burning too much. And this team fight, it's gone horribly, horribly wrong. If just the Night Stalker's left, this means he's going to drop a gem and he goes down.
And that's it. Basically the rest of the Daedalus for the Ember, as you said, the gem as well, so... Little bit of throwing coming out from IB. Tiny bit of overextension, maybe not communicating the fact that they need to save the vacuum or a form of stun for the Bane. Stun's slightly harder because he's generally gonna glimmer before he grips. So if the Night Stalker's not in range, then they don't have any detection, so they need the vacuum to do that.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So, a
What's
little...
really important right now.
Yeah, and she's playing a bit too ballsy, I feel.
It's one of two things, right? Either she's playing too ballsy, or her team's not communicating that they've already used spells, and she's not keeping track of it. So there needs to be like some form of change for the next few fights. They can't let Quap get gripped, or the Wraith King can't get gripped on his second life. The first life's not as relevant.
And it is going to be a Lotus Orb coming up for the Earthshaker. This one also a couple of things it can dispel and get rid of, but it's not... I mean, it'll return a silence onto the Night Stalker. Maybe he won't ravage you then, but it's not...
It's really good. It can save the Ember's BKB for longer if he gets
Oh,
caught
that's a
out
good
by a
point, yeah.
silence. Like, same for himself though. Like, if he ever gets found by the Night Stalker, which is very likely because of the Ags, then he needs a way to remove the silence.
Yeah. So, we've got Ember Spirit. He is getting close, as we talked about, to that Daedalus. He actually has it on the courier.
He's 300 from buyback.
Yep.
Oddly enough, the number is 322 on my screen. Now it's 323, so sad times, but no throwing coming out, hopefully. You should be able to get that before anything happens.
No throwing. I feel like we've already seen some.
Or at least from TRG, you know, you don't want to buy your Daedalus and then die before you have buyback. That's like a bigger throw than what IB did.
Yep. Now, this game, it's still not super even, but we're back down to that about maybe 11,000 net worth lead, only 8,000 experience. And again, IB in the position where they need a pick-off to get something done, and it's just not feeling like they're able to find one. And this looks like it's going to be a... Oh, no. I thought that was going to be a smoke. Ember Spirit TP's down to bottom lane. This may be their time to go. They managed to force stealth somebody in. They've got the stun, got a secondary stun, the immediate Lotus Orb coming out on the Wraith King, and I actually think you go for this. While, of course, Ember Spirit, you expect him to have a remnant, as we can just see. You're going to get yourself a ranged barracks, and as you talked about, they do not have enough ways to burn off that mana. The Enfeeble comes out, but again, not quite enough. He has still got enough mana to survive this, and... I think you're happy, even though it's one racks, you know, it's not the big racks, but you're pretty happy that you broke the base. Things get easier from out here, and maybe this wall can be used to zone, although having it down often means hard times. And they're actually just pinging out, push out our lanes for the lineup of IB.
Not losing the melee racks, the TRG will be pretty happy with that, and they didn't have to expend any deaths or buybacks on top of that. But losing the range racks, it's never the biggest deal for either side. Sure, it can add up if the game goes another 20 minutes. It's a lot of gold that TRG aren't getting and extra lane pressure they're going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
But it's not that big a deal. So, as you say, IB need to push out lanes, and TRG just need to keep in a similar situation where if they want to go for the melee racks, they have the ability to trade.
Yep.
Or have the ability to keep out the lanes.
Yeah. So, they're checking on the Roshan. Nobody quite knows when this bad boy is going to be coming up. We've got the Shivas finished on Queen of Pain, which will certainly help their lineup, but not sure if it's too little too late. It's going to be a very relatively short Roshan, which is always good for the Dire generally, but I'm not quite sure who actually has the map control here. With the gem being gone, maybe it's back in the Dire's hands.
I'm actually gone. I swore he had one. Okay, it's on the Bane as opposed to the Nyx. Bearing it. Night Stalker still has his.
Yeah.
The wards are not going to last very long.
Yep. And we've got a smoke coming out. Night Stalker has another one. Bane, of course, has the Night Stalker's original one. Very sad day there. They're not gonna. Again, it's one of those things where I don't know if this is the stage in the game where you can really get the smoke ganks to work. Just because your opponents know that they have to stay together. If they get picked off, they lose the game. They're gonna play very cautiously.
It's a good idea though, because IB want to smoke around the time they think Roche can spawn. They have to play for the fact it can spawn in the first 30-50 seconds. So this smoke accomplishes like the fact they know they're not around the pit. Unfortunately, they don't have a courier or anything to scout out when it spawns because it's just up now, which would be really ideal for them because they force TRG back. We're pushing the 2 lanes in.
Yeah, I'm actually
Nice
a little.
over. They can get it.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that they didn't have a remnant in the pit for TRG. Just because they had one outside the pit, but of course doesn't quite see in. Yule's picked up by the Bane. I like this. If they can take someone out of the fight, like the Wraith King, they can certainly withstand more of a beating.
That can have some funky interactions this game with the Lotus Orb.
Yeah, there are already some funky ones, and oh goodness, they found the Roshan. They're going in for it. It should be very quick. This Wraith King, he's starting to hit quite hard. I think that's going to be a Moonshot. He's got his full Abyssal. I assume that Hyperstone is going to be a Moonshot. This also means he's bought out.
I highly doubt it'll be a Mjolnir, so yeah, I'd agree with the Moonshot. They're leaving cheese for the Daxar, I presume? A lot of sense.
Maybe for the rats who eat cheese.
Not a myth though. Rats don't really like cheese, do they?
I have
The
no
cartoon
idea.
thing.
I don't know that. I didn't know that wasn't a thing. I know the rats my sister used to own ate everything. In fact, one of the rats was the size
they
of 2
probably don't
rats,
care.
and I was convinced that he actually may have eaten her previous rats, and she was lying to me. Either way, we're gonna see the initiation. The Abyssal comes out. You can't PkB that, and they get the Ice Blast. He explodes. Lotus Orb was also expended on him. While this ball may not have hit a lot of heroes, it's going to give them the AoE or the ranged, the defense. Sorry, to hit on this Rax and the melee falling very quickly. Oh, it's trying to regen up, but it is not going to regen up fast enough with this Wraith King pounding on it. Almost misses that last hit. He is getting dangerously close to not having enough mana, and with that, they have fully broken that lane of Rax. They are very happy on IB. Got a big pick off as well. Forced a buyback even. I mean, that fight was
that's
huge.
A game-losing buyback.
Yeah.
They could have just conceded the Rax, which they were going to lose anyway, but I think he did it as soon as there was kind of an exchange going on. It wasn't a full-fledged fight yet, so there was no way he could like buy back and TP behind the lines or something. So now all they have to do is find him on IB's side, and the game's over pretty much, unless Ember can pull out some big players. I was going to ask you if you thought he was going to go for a Rapier, but he pussied out and went for a Linken's. I feel it's too defensive, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you can lose slowly, or
Yeah, or you can win.
or no, I mean
Like,
you
I
can lose
guarantee
slowly, or you
Rapier
can live
wins
on
this
the
game.
edge and potentially win.
No, like you saw MV play first game against EG, right?
No, I haven't yet. I'm like way backlogged
Okay.
because they play at like 3 a.m. my time, so I only catch the last
Alright,
set of
well,
the day.
Small spoilers. MV basically carries the game based off got rapiers, and KYXY is in an even better position because he has the VG.P already. He already has the one defensive item, and Blink is also exceptionally defensive on Ember as well as offensive.
Yeah, I was a
I
bit
feel like
surprised.
Lincoln is just overkill.
I was surprised at the Blink Dagger as well when it was picked up. It certainly delayed other items, so I wasn't so sure about it. And
I liked it at the time. Needed some kind of mobility. There's no point having damage if you're going to die after dealing the damage, or your BKB runs out while you're in a slight or something and you get stunned or silenced, etc. So it gave him the ability to play around more.
yep, and with this, they're getting ready to siege high ground. Of course, they still have the Aegis on the Queen of Pain for 2 more minutes. So I think this is an easy siege unless Queen goes in a bit too ham. And we have Lotus Orbs up on people, taking a little bit of damage. Not the biggest of crits, but he already lost 600 health. He's stunned up. He may just end up losing a life here if this Wraith King isn't careful. The Guardian Greaves even pop for him. He's being burnt under the tower. Queen of Pain pops her Shivas to get vision on the high ground, I think, to see if there's a void.
See if you have even another damage item. It doesn't have to be a rapier. It could be a second crit. It could be an MKB. then it's a lot easier to stop the Wraith King. Also, something I think they should be doing is the Shakers should be blinking into position to block him off, as opposed to just fissuring. Because then they have to expend a force staff. Do they even have one? No, they don't even have a force, so you can get him in there, and then if you just have someone with Flame Guard, or you raise on the time that his Reincarnate comes up, you can stop his blink, and then he's stuck in the base
Yeah.
for like another 2 or 3 seconds.
And I think his team would hop in to help him, unfortunately, which may send, be them meeting their downfall. But Wraith King, again, he is right back up to full health. He still has this Reincarnate. He is pounding away on the tower. He may be committed to burning it, but nope. He backs out again. Here comes the Ember Spirit, not getting the crits that he needed.
He hits like a noodle right now, that's the problem.
Unless he gets lucky, yeah, and he really did not there. Now, at the same time, this is just buying time. 1, bottom lane is pushing in. 2, that Aegis, it's going to be gone.
Yeah, they're doing the right thing right now, but they could be doing it slightly better, and it's really irritating me. Like, okay, so it's not going to happen this wave, but the Wraith King has been stacked on top of the wave every single time. The Shaker blocks it out, and then you get a slight. You can't hit the tower with Wraith King then, unless you literally blink in past a Fissure, which is guaranteed to expend your ultimate, and then your team has to bail you out. So it puts you in like an awkward position.
Yeah.
And while it hasn't lost on the tower yet, it definitely could be making the tower half HP or 3/4 HP as it was before.
And it's finally going to be a long Roshan, 10 minutes and 20 seconds on that next spawn time. So they have all backed up on IB. They're just trying to make sure their bottom lane is actually pushed out and they're not taking pressure there as well. But, I mean, just buying more time. We're at 54 minutes in. This game's certainly not as short as the first series. And Ember Spirit, we've discussed how we think he needs more damage, but he's approaching online, especially if he picks up a little bit more damage.
Yeah, and I think his next item is his P. Then he's either going to drop the BKB, so he can pick up an MKB or Divine. I think now you've committed to the Lincolns, you keep it purely because of the Blink Abyssal from from Wraith King. Which is the scariest thing. If he BKBs and gets Blink Abyssal, he's dead. So I completely understand it, but he needs one of those items. The exchange for damage, I think. But the Wraith King has a lot of room to grow. He hasn't finished his Moonshard yet, he can sell his armlet, he can upgrade to bots, and he can also get a refresher to have double ultimates, so 3 lives and double abyssal.
Yeah. So
Pop still has some room to grow as well. So I think the later this goes, it favors IB more and more. Especially with the map control from Night Stalker.
yeah, he's not giving up that secondary gem, and as long as his team isn't maybe in a bad position, he's doing well. Do you think that's a Heaven's Halberd or a Solar Crest coming out next?
Halberd.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit too late for a Solar just because you want to peak with it when they don't have MKBs, etc. But now the Shadow Fiend's BKB is getting low. It's only 6 at the moment. It's soon to be 5 on the next fight, I imagine. That after the BKB, or you can use it to force the BKB and run away, maybe. It's a good item in general.
Yep. Quad
Not
Blink.
too useful on the Ember though.
Doxy is also picking up what I have to assume is going to be a sheep stick.
I'd hope so. That's like...
He does know that they can see him, right? No, he apparently doesn't. The A blast's going to completely whiff just because of the really nice job with the spiked carapace. But while this does mean they probably don't want to fight for the next few seconds while the A blast comes back off of cooldown, I don't know if maybe Nyx didn't know they were all there. I mean, Night Stalker has a lot of vision right now, so he probably just assumed maybe Night Stalker wasn't with them, they could get a quick pick.
Yeah, on top of that, his team was close, so he probably felt confident. The only thing that instantly stops him in his tracks is Blink Abyssal. Or Blink on top of him and then Ray Fire Blast, but there's still time for you to Carapace or Force away, so... as he did get caught there, he had a way of getting out, or his team to come close before they committed for the kill. So it wasn't too bad. As you said, the Night Stalker being there, team's just playing a bit too precariously. Is this like a really important game for the group stages, or is it...
No.
Pride?
I don't think it is. So, I mean...
Oh, you still want to win. You never want to
Yeah.
play to lose.
And it kind of, it's, it's just one of those things where you maybe you're going to feel bad, right? You want to take the series 1-1. You don't want to give away anything accidentally, but now we're 57 minutes in, and, I mean, AA's got a Lotus Orb, Night Stalker has a BKB, like, we're deep in this game.
Yeah, there's still a lot of room to grow, and on top of that, they're all farming really well. Like, the gold difference on the cores, like the two cores, isn't too big. Ember's ahead of the Co-op, and Wraith King's slightly ahead of Shadow Fiend. So
But-
their cores are actually ahead on TRG, but it's for supports that are, like, filling out the gold lead, which is still just about 17k.
And I think a lot of that's just these Midases going around, right? It always helps you farm up when you're a support. Or the Night Stalker, this one, who is basically a core Night Stalker. And speaking of core Night Stalkers, forcing out the BKB from Ember Spirit, pretty sure... Oh, that was actually a 6-second BKB. They managed to pop the Lincolns as well. This could just be the end of the game. We're going to see the AA Blast hit as well, and that is one Ember Spirit down. I think you just go and push, but they want Roshan, I think, from this engagement, and they're going to check it, going to realize it's not up yet. It's going to be a long one. And AA actually TPing home, I guess, wanting to deal with that top wave and understanding that if you AA blast from base, it's even better. But I think it is time to siege the base while you wait for Roshan. Even just slow siege it in bottom lane.
They have to be careful though, because Ember does have buyback, they should realize this. So if they overextend too much, it could be really bad for them, and then it could give Roche away. And as you say, if they decide to slow siege, it does have to be slow. Or they just need to stick someone around the pit, because it's going to be spawning in about 2 minutes, I think. They should expect it to be up. It's like 60-60%.
Yeah.
66%. So for the AA blast in there, or for a courier, etc.
Yeah, now we've got an AA blast coming from all the way in the base, and they're gonna seem like they want to fight this one. Wraith King, he's only got 2 lives here, and he may be about to only have 1 more left. A nice vacuum, but the illusion's not doing as much damage as they want. Reincarnate has been blown. They need a Sonic Wave, and he immediately blinks out of there. Requiem of Souls not hitting on anyone, but 2 heroes caught by these Searing Chains, and Quap, she did not get off that Sonic Wave, and now Cole is gonna fall before he can get out. That is the 2nd gem given over, and this was the throw we talked about needing not to happen. And it's happened.
Okay, so either I completely lagged, but I know the Requiem didn't hit anything, and I think the Echo also just completely out.
No, the Echo actually hit some people.
Okay, well, there was no one on my screen where he echoed when he echoed, so I'm presuming it hit nothing, but regardless, that was still as good as they could ask for, forcing out the buyback, and then Wraith King used his 10-second BKB, but he should be able to blink away after the reincarnate.
Yeah, he did exactly
just
that.
Back off.
And he did
They
get
still
out.
lose heroes.
But the rest of the heroes caught in a Searing Chains, just not their day.
Nothing.
Queen of Pain, I think, wanted to Sonic Wave because there were a number of people who were burning low to the Frostbite if she could have hit them. And not worth it for a Roshan. This could spell the end for IB.
I'm actually kind of surprised they're giving the Aegis to Shadow Fiend, considering the Ember has no buyback, but he should not get caught. So I do heavily disagree with his choice of getting an MKB and keeping B well as Lincoln's over the blink.
Yeah, it's also a funny choice to get the MKB from the standpoint of a crit is more damage, and the evasions on the Night Stalker that we don't care about who's bought another gem.
Yeah, I feel like his items could be a lot more clean this team. But regardless, he's still playing well. He's had 1 or 2 important pickoffs, but his team have managed to stabilize after that, and they're still in a really good position to win this game.
Yep, and with that, it looks like they might run into the Nyx Assassin. They see this guy, they know exactly where he is, they need the blink forwards, but he is 4-stealthed away. Can they catch up to him? Queen of Pain also doing the blink action. He runs backwards! Oh no, what happens here? They just need to not hit him during that Spite Carapace. They do so as it ends, and that is Nyx Assassin down, and their jungle de-warded. So, really well-played pickup from IB, but again, they're fighting into Aegis all of a sudden against a team who was much weaker than them, but has been getting rubber band gold.
Now the problem is they've got 2 lanes pushing in, so if they want to commit now, again they should feel the Nyx has buyback, because everyone's going to pull for buyback at this stage. Unless it's on cooldown, they should have it. Or you should assume they have it.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to play slightly carefully in, and the Ember's really good at pushing out these waves.
100%. So, We're gonna see an attempted engagement. They're really just sitting on the low ground, I think, waiting for someone to come out. They're pinging the Shadow Fiend, and in they go. Doxy is the one to jump, gets off a really nice vacuum wall combo. You can VG.P Requiem of Souls, but they're just gonna auto-attack you down. They have got the Frostbite debuff on him, and the Sonic Wave being used already. We've also got BKB burned on the Wraith King. I actually think that one was a bit of a bone. And oh no, don't go in it! He's gonna maybe take some damage if somebody finds him. They manage to get the spiked carapace off, and oh, that is a die back coming up. But also the Shadow Fiend, he is getting dangerously low in the middle of all of this, and the Doxia taking literally no damage. Wraith King, he is also now nightmared up. Where is their damage output? An Echo Slam onto 2A. He's not gonna get off another blast at this rate, and he may just fall. He needs to wander away. They've taken 1 life on the SF, and oh gosh, AA, don't stand in there. He instead ends up falling because there's a gem on the Earthshaker, but now Quap, she is stunned up. She is taking a lot of damage. The blink away from the Earthshaker, and she needs to get out of there. Wraith King, he still hasn't used that reincarnate. He is just chillaxing all around. The random drive-by and an Abyssal coming out onto the Shadow Fiend, but again, they have isolated out poor Wraith King. He's going to use that reincarnate. Quap again jumping over to the side. Cole is coming back in to help, but I don't know how you fight against all of these heroes if they're not up in your faces. You need another Sonic Wave. It should be coming off cooldown. This fight seems to be lasting forever, but that is a very dead Wraith King, and this could just have been the game.
Structures are fortified.
But they bought enough time that they're losing tier 4s. They have to glyph their buildings. That's a glyph burn. Their ancient is now suddenly exposed.
I was going to say that was a really worthwhile dieback from Nyx, but losing the tier 4s, as you say, suddenly makes the game a lot more open.
Yeah.
I really don't think that fight equates to anything except TRG being able to get thrown, which makes it more awkward for them.
Because they were not able to get outside of their base and get any objectives, so this team fight just, as you said, yeah, it was great. They killed 4 for, I think they lost maybe 3. But they didn't get anything out of it, and they lost tier 4s, and if they take another team fight outside of their base that isn't pushing out the mid lane, that's pushing into them, they may just lose.
Well, right now, they're doing the right thing. They're getting map control. They're putting all 3 lanes in. The Ember can't die while the Shaker's behind him. They actually forced the BKB on Quap, so... Well, I think that's 5 seconds? Yeah, it is 5 seconds. But it's still something. The lanes are all going to be pushing in, so they're going to have map control for a while.
Yeah.
So it's at least something. It's just what they can do with that map control. And it's really hard to do anything when there's a Night Stalker with a gem. And your form of initiation is a Nyx. Don't have vision for the Bane to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure how they're meant to get this vision. They're working on a BKB for the Bane. It's certainly gonna make it harder to stop that, but, you know, we're at the point in the game where maybe they just kill your Bane if he doesn't grip the Wraith King.
Getting a BKB makes it slightly easier for him, but he's definitely killable. At least for the Wraith King. I don't think the Quap has the damage yet.
Yeah.
Went for really defensive items. She's got 9k gold. I'm presuming this is a refresher.
She's had
Could also
9k
be
gold
Hex.
for a while, though. I'm a bit confused. She's been hoarding, as
Yeah,
one does.
why would you push the opposing team's high ground with more than 5k when you can
Which,
buy an
yeah,
item?
which is what she was doing, so
I actually didn't even notice that. I'm an awful analyst. That is such a bad decision.
It's early in the morning. I think maybe worried a bit about buyback and something where sometimes we see players do this, hey, we lost a team fight, but how did we lose the team fight? And that's how I'm going to spend our gold. And she has bought out the Scythe of Buy, so deciding that they need more lockdown as opposed to more damage.
Yeah, but buyback bots still only costs like 4,000 gold. It does not cost 9. That's a casual plate mail if you want to go for something. Never mind, there's already an AC, so forget that.
Yeah.
But that's an item. That's a Mystic Staff, so you hit slightly harder. It's an Ultimate Orb, so you have a extra 190 HP or something.
And we have a smoke attack coming out on this bottom lane. They want to get the hell out of dodge on the lineup of Thunder robots. But will they be spotted? The answer is no. And with that, we have nighttime popped. Potentially a push coming in.
And there's a game-winning rune top, so they're not going to see that on the side of IB. TRG, as soon as they see these heroes show, they'll probably be pretty confident in pushing out the other lanes. Ember TP's top now with a Remnant mid. But they're going to have to worry about the split push. I don't think they're in a position to just brute force the high ground yet. Wraith King's not big enough.
Wraith King's not big enough. I think one good step to fixing that is these shoes. That omelet, maybe not needed. 67 minutes into the game. My goodness. After that first game, I was expecting another short one, I'm not gonna lie, and now... Bit
Oh,
dazed
okay,
and
sorry.
confused.
Not big enough in comparison to what TRG
Oh, no, no,
has.
no. I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. I was just thinking of, like, what do you do here? Because, you know, he's got a lot of items. Obviously, you replace the mana boots with bots. I think that you can do that now. You're rocking 1200 mana. You'll be a little bit lower when you get rid of these boots. But, you know, it's like 900 should still probably work out for you. And I think that the time for the omelet, it's really, it's the poor man's heart. You don't need the poor man's heart at 67 minutes into the game.
No, he needs a refresher instead. Which I'd sell the armlet, get a refresher, keep the mana boots, and then really late you look to get rid of the mana boots into bots 2, and then even further than that, you swap the refresher out on a curry and get maybe a MKB, maybe a Mjolnir, Blade Mill, something. When the BKBs get low and you're running in the front, Blade Mill's actually not irrelevant. Teams aren't going to want to hit you.
Ember Spirit is taking their base. He has bots level 2. There is going to be a tower falling, but Ember Spirit has gotten a Rax in top lane. He's now returning for the team fight. We've got a Fiend's Grip going on. A really nice wall combo. Will the A Blast hit? It hits on 2. The Sonic Wave, though, being dodged by the Yules coming out. I think they'll still get someone to shatter there. And the SF, he eats the cheese so he doesn't fall. But the Wraith King, he still has 2 lives. And now the Echo Slam, it does not look like it was enough. I think IB have done it. Maybe they have finally broken the base. They just need to have the Ancient fall. That's all you actually need. They're going in for more kills. They pop the Lincolns as this Ancient, it is at half health. Oh gosh, yeah, I know. The Creep's doing good work. They realize they have to get it off of there. They do pop their glyph, and they're still trying to fight. The Wraith King, he's going to use that second life, or is he force-stopped away at the last second? They're still working on the melee racks. They've gotten that over here. The Creeps are finally off of the base. A little bit of a piggy coming out from the Shadow Fiend. And is that finally going to be the end of the team fight? But no, Queen of Pain. She's got a backdoor. Oh no, she's blinking away. I think she should just go in. They're also losing their top range
Pop
racks.
should go in the back door, definitely.
Yeah, she should. She could get this. It is too late for me. It is too late for me to notice even that. But I really do think there's a possibility as that mid lane pops in. She's hiding well in the sidelines. She could get something done here.
You might not have noticed it, and I might not have noticed it, but the players didn't notice it either. They could have 100% done 600 extra damage.
Yeah.
And the creeps probably did like 400 themselves. So the Queen, double life on the Wraith King, a BKB on him as well. They could definitely have done that.
And it's something...
a slightly more risky move though.
Yeah, and it's something that is just really hard to notice in the moment. Of course, we have global vision. We know what's going on. We know the state of the racks up top. We know the state of the enemy Ancient. They can't necessarily see that deep and focus on getting off all of their teamfight spells. Another thing that I'm really interested in, I feel like this Nyx Assassin, he's not doing so great on the net worth. It makes a lot of sense. He's a support Nyx Assassin. You're not really a hero that can flash farm in any way, shape, or form. And like Alina, what do you go, though, when he eventually gets some sort of gold on him?
Lads, maybe? You could also just work your way towards an E-Blade for the Wraith King.
Yeah.
Ghost Scepter's not irrelevant on yourself. And one thing I want to note is Ember finally got a Rapier. I believe this is like 30 minutes too late.
They can still win this game.
Replacing his BKB / Lincoln slot. I think he sold the BKB. It's not in his stash. It's not on the ground. He still has the Lincolns. But I don't think he needs the MKB over the Lincoln. This is a point where now you have the Rapier, you already have the damage. You don't need the MKB. There's one source of evasion.
And we have a max Roshan respawn timer. They're gonna know both teams when this is up, of course, because it is a max one, so not helpful. You know, nobody's...
This game's actually so awkward as well, because now there's double sheep.
Oh, yeah.
There's still the double silence. Okay, no longer
double
silence,
BKB.
only single silence. Oh, sorry, there's triple hex as well, because Cop has...
double BKB on her, triple hex, as you said. The Roshan finally respawns. Thank you, Rosh. And I do believe they saw it on the Radiant.
I'd hope so. But now it feels like Ember needs a BKB. He needs his teammate to give him a Lincolns, and then he needs the BKB over the MKB, so he can stand and slide twice, then blink out. And then maybe if you're looking... You sell the MKB, get a refresher, reuse your BKB, So you can actually hit heroes in the BKB.
Yeah, he's also opted to go for putting the blink back on him instead of getting the BKB. We have nighttime pop. This Roshan's gonna fall before TRG are able to get there. And will this be what they need to do about the what you've been regenning? 1,500 probably by the time the push comes in, damage onto the opposing ancients. They also need to defend their base. Unfortunately, they have this strange conundrum where they have to push this up to like there, and then they can go woohoo!
They're not in position to be thrown, so as long as it's far enough out, as you say, like somewhere around the river, they can just go down mid. As long as they push the lane simultaneously and don't get ganked.
Yeah.
And TRG also wasted a smoke going for the Roche. I'm not sure if they have any more. No, that was our last smoke for 10 minutes. Doesn't look like there's any on the chicken, none in base. Yeah, this is awkward for them. And he finally gets a second rapier after selling the MKB.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like played really well. I can't really fault his play, but his item choice is just.
Yeah, it does feel like he was a tad
hurt
too
me.
defensive, and it's really, as we can see as the game has progressed, it hasn't paid off. But on the other hand, would we, you know, some of this is also on IB. Would we be in a 73-minute game if a number of things had changed? So, always hard to say.
At the time I was pushing for it, I could see what was going to happen pretty much, and I'm sure he could as well, but he opted for the more safe play. Like, we're going to make sure I don't die. BKB, Blink, Lincoln's crit.
Now, something else I want to mention.
Sorry, go on.
Just the state of the buybacks. We only have 2 up on the Dire. If they don't win this team fight, right, they're in a big pot of trouble. I think it's just GG. Oh, and as I say that, we've got the initiation, but Survivor already taking huge amounts of damage. He got nothing off. Doxy, he does have buyback. He immediately uses it. Fiend's Grip going onto Queen of Pain. The Wraith King's Reincarnate has been used, but Shadow Fiend now taking a lot of damage up there, and they still haven't even used the Abyssal Blade on him. The Cold Feet proc as well, and that's an SF with no buyback going down. The Wall Vacuum is finally dropped. That's a dieback from Mr. Doxier as well, and can they actually push in off of this? It doesn't look like it, even though they killed the Unkillable. They're going back in. He uses the Abyssal onto the Nyx Assassin, but he is being full-stuffed all over the place. Lotus Orbs dropping on everybody's heads, and Wraith King may die if he is not careful here, because the crits are starting to get big, and they're pinging out those creeps coming into the base. This Ancient is up to 1,500 health.
And that's a wasted glyph. That's
It is. That is a ranged Rax. They're going to lose this Rax. They're going to have super creeps in that lane, and suddenly more and more pressure going in, and they are content, it looks like, on the lineup of IB to just work on that top lane. So
this is why I was pushing for the rapier, because you have the Shadow Fiend in the front line. Even the Nyx and the Shaker, after they've like gone in, are going to draw some focus. And he did the right thing by using the blink, and he just did too much damage that fight for IB to be able to deal with. Fight goes past, I think, 2 slights. They're in trouble. They're not going to be able to siege after they've, if they even have won the fight, because they'll all be at like 10%.
And we're gonna have.
I genuinely feel like if he went for these earlier, they wouldn't be 2 racks down.
It looks like another gem is about to be lost, and goodbye, Cole. He might be tanky, but he has no support. But can they just TP into the base and do something to it? And no, that is actually just the creeps getting the Ancient down to 1550, and now it's healing right back up.
That regen is so slow.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. This game is still going.
I honestly think IB are now in the situation where they have to bait TRG into a bad situation. Like,
yeah, they have to fight them outside their base and just waste their time. I don't think there's a way other than that, right?
Yeah, they even need to have like the Wraith King smoked and going down mid where a creep wave is pushing in while 4 heroes are getting caught on one side. If TRG see like 1 hero out of position, they're probably going to go, and then if you just keep feeding them 1 or 2 heroes, like it has to be tactical deaths at this point, because I don't think they're going to be able to break TRG's defense. Ember hits for 900. Hits for 900.
Yeah.
You aren't pushing into that unless you can somehow jump him. but you can't jump him when there's double force.
Oh,
there's Lotus.
speaking of can't jump him, they have jumped one, the Earthshaker, no buyback on him, and if they can also kill out this SF, he doesn't have buyback still. They're now going onto the Ember Spirit. We've got one sheep, but it doesn't do enough damage. Can they kill off the Bane? Bane taking, first hit crit. Bane doesn't have buyback either. There's a gem on the deck. They kill the Ember Spirit. 2 rapiers pop out of him. That has to be GG. And it looks like finally maybe IP has what they need to siege the base. Is Queen of Pain taking one, really? Just no shoes. And no Black King Ball. That's fine, Queen of Pain. I like it. Let's go attack the enemy's Ancient.
Double rapier quaff.
Yeah, just casual double rapier quap things. I actually think the play here for Ember Spirit was to have one in the stash, you know, bought out, but it doesn't look like he did. And they're just gonna pound away.
Not get caught there.
Indeed, that's the GG call. And as I was saying, I was surprised by how long this game had gone on. We were finally at the end of it.
Radiant victory.
Thoughts?
Alright, so you want blunt?
No,
Want...
sugarcoat it, friend.
Okay, so I genuinely believe IB played really well this game. They had really strong lanes, they set themselves up to win. TRG were playing from behind, and they managed to equalize the game. They were doing really well at keeping the game 50-50 for, I don't know, around the 20 to 40 minute mark. And then as soon as KOXY got to the point where he was generating items like every 5 minutes, which is what you want to be doing on your Ember, I genuinely still believe he could have made better item choices.
Yeah.
PkB or the Lincolns make 100% sense. The Lincolns was at the point where they were starting to pick up the Abyssal, the Hexes, so he needed some way to stop that, because I don't think they had Lotus Swords yet, and he was generally on his own. And after that, going for the really defensive items, going into MKB, where they really didn't have any evasion, I really feel like it threw the game. And MMC got caught out like several times.
Yeah.
But he had to be the one in the front, so I don't blame him too much for that.
It was a rough game for Thunder Robot Gaming. I think they had a valiant attempt there. We're going to be headed into a tiebreaker after this, folks. We've got the final game of the night, DK versus Braveheart. Tiebreaker action. We'll see. It's a best of one. They, whoever wins it advances. And with that, folks, once again, this has been Star Ladder. I'm Llama Down Under. I've been joined by PqMz. We'd love your feedback on how to become better casters. Feel free to leave that at Llama Down Under on Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, since PQ doesn't really do the social media. I will send him along the feedback. I know there's just the few, the valiant, the brave, who are still listening in on this. And yeah, we'll be getting into that last game of the night right quick. Thank you all for watching, and please listen to